my name is Caroline and welcome to my channel, my little corner of the internet where I talk all about cross stitch, sewing, knitting and all the other crafty things I get up to. Today will be only cross stitch with a little bit of yarn that I will show you because I have so much to catch up on. Yeah, I've been gone for a while, almost the whole of December. I basically disappeared after my second Flossmas video. I had such good intentions with Flossmas and then I got sick. I don't know, that's somehow the story of this year because I got sick basically at the first day of Jingle Ball. So Jingle Ball started for me Friday midnight, Friday to Saturday, but I was already very tired and exhausted, so I went to bed shortly after midnight, woke up on Saturday morning with a sore throat and not feeling good, and then it went basically downhill. I participated at Jingle Ball as best as I could. I met some lovely people, had wonderful conversations. Yeah, had a really lovely chat with quite a few people, which was so great. But I continued to feel worse, got a fever, got a cough, and yeah, it was not fun. And the week after the Jingle Ball, I found out that I had a very slight case of pneumonia. I have no idea how to pronounce that word. It's very hard. But yeah, so I was sick for almost 2 weeks. I did some stitching during those weeks, but I also slept a lot, rested, and obviously I did not feel up to filming. The first 2 days, I think I still filmed without my face showing, but after that, I couldn't even do that. And then it was almost up to Christmas and the hectic of Christmas. And so I thought, let's just put the thought of filming before Christmas out of my head and do it later. And there was so much to see on YouTube anyway, so yeah, here I am. Today is December 31st and I was supposed to work today, but we had a really slow day at work yesterday, so I was able to take the day off on short notice today. And yeah, I'm using it to finally come back here and film. I feel a little bit rusty, but also it feels really good. So what are my plans? I want to show you all the end results of my 3 advents. I won't show you my tea advent because I drank a lot of it and it's not that interesting. I will show you the usual Flosstube things. I have FFOs, I have finishes, I have new starts, I have whips, all of it. I have a little bit of haul and also just a tiny bit of plans because I hope to film another plans video, maybe even after this or tomorrow, going over my 2025 plans because this time I actually made some plans and maybe combine that with my 2024 stats. And then I'm also thinking of doing a 2024 finish parade, but there will be a little bit more preparation for that because I have to get all of them out, gather them together, gather pictures of the ones that I gifted. And so maybe I will do that on the weekend. I'm not going to do an end of year whip parade because there are tons of whip parades to watch right now, and so you should be covered. And I did one in September for my 1 year Flossiversary, and I think I will continue that tradition to do that in September, to not have another whip parade at this time of year where it's just a lot. But before we now get into all the things, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who is subscribed, either old or new. I just at Jingle Ball reached the 2000 threshold and I'm so happy. Thank you so much everyone who subscribed, who watches, also who shouted me out. And yeah, so I hope you like what you see, and let's get into it because I have a lot today. All right, let's start up with my advent calendars. The first one I want to show is my yarn advent. This was 24 mini skeins of merino superwash and then one more regular 100-gram skein extra. And this is all the skeins. I did not keep them in order because I didn't see the point. And yeah, whoop. This is basically my bouquet of yarn. So we started with very neutral ones, and then as the month progressed, we got some darker jewel tones. Very pretty. And then the 100-gram neutrally again. And this is the dyer that I bought this from. She's called Maruma Yarn, and she is from Latvia. Yeah, super excited about this. I loved everything that was in there. There was also one, still a little bit breathless from being sick. So there was also one stitch marker and one of those stitch markers that you can count tens of rows, the longer ones. I don't have them here right now, but yeah, now I will need to find a place to store them and also think about a pattern to use them with. The next advent was Tom and Lily Creations. They are a fabric and floss dyer from France. And all in all, these is an overview of the colors that I got. There was one overdyed color every day. And then there were a few days where there were extras. You can see most of them in this shot now. Just a nice variety of threads that I will add to my Fancy Floss collection. And I really think that people got different sets. I don't know if just the order was different or the colors were different. So yeah, but I am super happy. So every day there was one of these, and then there were some extras. There was a tea, there were some needles, and then on 4 days there were some of these. These are Over a Swarm metallic threads. And yeah, we'll be curious to use them and try them. So all in all, super happy with this advent as well. And then the last one was the Evertoad, Roxy Floss Co. and Modern Folk Embroidery Nordic Holiday Countdown. This is the booklet, the whole booklet with the instructions and also an extra chart on the back. So I won't show you that. And we got 25 Roxy Floss colors in that. I have them all on this ring, and they're a little bit messed up because you got a part of a chart to stitch each day. And yeah, so I will now also be able to put them into my Fancy Floss collection. And I kept up with the chart because I was sick and stitching that every day was very doable. Sometimes I did something else too, sometimes just that. And here is the finished product. This is on a 40 count glacier linen, also by Roxy Floss. I picked the 40 count, and yeah, this was also in the advent on day 1. And that's the whole thing. It is quite small. There are a few things. So some days the chart was wrong, and one of them was the last day. And you basically had to wait for Caroline's video to see what the correct thing was. But I wanted to have this finished by the 24th. So I had to stitch in advance. So I didn't know what to use. So I just used the very light one, also added my initials. And yeah, it's quite small, super nice. So I have quite a bit of leftover down there to do something else. And I thought I might make this into a project bag because it's quite colorful. So I don't think I would hang this on my wall. And yeah, so I think a Christmassy project bag would be perfect for this. In this advent, there were also some extras. So we had, again, some tea, some needles, some chocolate, and a candy cane. Yeah, just on a few days, there were some extras. And then on the last day, there was one more gift card from Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery. It's quite big. This one is 113 by 140. So, and it is similar to what you see here. So it is a deer with a Christmassy border. Yeah. So Advent number 3, and one of the 5 finishes I had since December 5th, I think. All right, next up, let's talk about fully finished objects. I have 3 of them, but I can only show you 2 today. The first one is a pillow finish that was a Christmas gift for my parents. And I will put a picture up. Let me scooch a little bit. So I will put a picture up for that because, well, I already gave it to my parents for Christmas. The chart is Floret by Carolyn Manning Designs. I stitched this early in the year, and after I had it done, I knew it was perfect for my parents' living room because it's the exact colors of their living room. So I dug through my stash and added on some fabrics that I liked with it. I didn't want them to distract from the stitching, but to complement them. And yeah, they were super happy. It's already in their living room, and I also am super thrilled of how this turned out. I stitched this with all the called for colors in CXC threads, 2/2 on a 28 count linen, but I don't remember the name. Platinum maybe? Oh, and I think 1 or 2 greens might be not the called for, but a very similar DMC because I didn't have the called for. So yeah, that is pillow finish number 1. Pillow finish number 2, and also a new start and a finish, so all of them, is this one. This is a Pretty Kitty from Cup Designs, and I already have one that it did last year, the one with the candy cane. And I want to do one of them every year because they stitch up super quick, they're super fun. I think the stitch count on this was just over 500 stitches. So I did that in half a day and then finished it up, put the same backing on it as on the other one, filled it with some pillow stuffing and polyfill, and sewed up. So this is how my bottoms look, so you really cannot tell that there's hand sewing going on there. This is so sweet. I cannot wait to have the whole collection of them. Yeah, and I actually did another fully finished pillow finish. I did finish that up on the Sunday of Jingle Ball. I will show that to you in my next regular Flosstube because it is my secret centerpiece for our Zoom Stitchy friend group. And the recipient already has it in their hands and she already opened it. But not all of our group have opened their presents. So I want to wait until everyone has done that and then share it with you here. And then I will also share what my secret Santa stitched for me because I also have that already opened and I'm super happy with that. So stay tuned for that. On now to finishes. So I had quite a few finishes. The first one, this one. And then the next one you already saw was this one. So this is 2 out of 5. I also finished up Woodland Cheer by Dimensions Gold Petite. Ta-da! This is so pretty. The back stitch was a little bit of a pain, but it's so gorgeous. I love this. So I stitched this with all the threads that came in the kit, but not with the kit Ada. I used a 32 count little white dot Zweigart fabric linen. And I also didn't stitch the Woodland Cheer words down here. So I had hoped to have this fully finished by now, but yeah, didn't get around to it. I want to do one of the 3 finishes that Helen D from East Coast Crafter does with the place card holder tree stumps in there. So I think this will be a wonderful tree, obviously, since it's one. So not a little bit more. Yeah. Oh, this is so pretty and I'm so happy to have this done. I started this last December and finished it this December. I don't know the exact day, but does it really matter? I don't think so. So this is Woodland Cheer. The next one's also a start and finish around in the middle of December. And it is Winter Cardinal Etching by Heart in Hand. She has all of the 4 seasons in a pattern, but mine were out of the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, the 2020 issues. The one I did now is this one. And for this, I actually used the Called for Classic Colorworks. So Sticks and Twigs and Cherry Cobbler. And this is stitched on a 28 count linen band. It's a no-name band, but I don't only have this one. I have all 4 seasons now. Oh, they're so pretty. So I still need to figure out how to finish up this band. The sides are obviously already finished, but the top and bottom aren't. So, and I have one more finished. It was also a start and finish. I found this pattern, I don't even know where, somewhere on Instagram probably, and immediately had to have it. And it is called Cat and Cardinal Christmas by Happiness is Hard Made. And then I was looking of where to get it, and they had a 50% off sale on their website, so perfect. I bought this, kitted it up, started it, and finished it within less than a week. So this is it. It's perfect. This is Mario. So I had to stitch this. This is on a 36 count stone by Fiber on a Whim. And I used most of the called for colors. I made some substitutions. And these are CXC threads, 1/2. And the pattern has one more border down here, but I didn't stitch that because that did not look very Christmassy to me. To me, that looked like a spring flower grassy thing, and I just liked it how it was. And yeah, it's super cute and tiny. It's perfect. So yeah, very, very cute. And I love the wreath that the cat has around its neck. And of course, I had to make the big Mario whiskers. Yeah, those are all my finishes. So 5 finishes in just over 3 weeks, which I think is quite good. Aside from the starts that were also finishes later, I had 2 more big new starts since I filmed last. All right, so the first new start was heavily inspired by a conversation from the Jingle Ball. I started this December 9th, so the day after Jingle Ball. And I'm talking about A Genevieve 1888. Need to scooch again a little bit. So this is a reproduction sampler from Reflet de Soie. And I was in a room at the Jingle Ball with contented needleworker Kim. And there was also Lakegirlstitching, and there was Sarah Stitchy Spot and some other people, amazing people. But Kim was stitching on this sampler when I asked what everyone was stitching on, and she showed it, and oh my word, it's stunning. And I knew I had to have it. So I immediately went to Reflet de Soie's website and bought the PDF, but they take a few days to send it to you. Otherwise, I would have started it then and there. So I had to start it on Monday when I got the chart. And yeah, So it is, I think it is charted in swaddle share silks, but they also give a fancy floss conversion and a DMC conversion. And I'm doing the DMC. I think Kim is also doing the DMC and said that it's stunning. Those are the very messy DMCs because I did quite a bit on this already. And how do I show this? This is what I have so far. I'm doing this on a 40 count linen in The Secrets of Great Grandma by Nicholas Flamel design, 1/2 with the DMC, as I said. And this is a wonderful dusty pink, which is also very fitting because one, it's perfect for the design and the colors, and two, this was inspired by Kim and she has a whole pink wall or room in her house, so perfect. So this is it. I stitched so much on this already. Let me check. So this is huge. The dimensions of these are 396 by 285. Do I need a category that says huge bab? Oh, but yeah. So how much stitches? This has a stitch count of just under 43,000 stitches. But I already did 2,000 in a few days because it's just so much fun. I started at the bird because that was the middle, and then worked my way up through some of the letters to the border. The border is stunning. So when I get back to it, I can choose whatever I want to stitch on. Oh, I love that little blue bird. It's so gorgeous. Super, super excited to stitch that along with Contented Needleworker Kim and Lakegirlstitching and probably a few other people because awesome. And the next start I had is also a big one. I started this December 25th, so Christmas Day. And this is Christmas Garden by Blackbird Designs. I had this on my radar to start for a long time and was unsure of what threads to use because they called for just a little bit too muted for me. Then I got some Mrs. Seda silks, added in some silks for you. And then once I had that, I was unsure what fabric to use, but I think I have the perfect combination now. So, ta-da, this is what I have. This is again quite a large piece. This is 225 by 272. So large, but compared to the other one, small. And again, I got quite some good progress on this. I have 1,362 stitches already done in 2 days. So the fabric I'm doing this on is Light Nougat 40 count linen by XJU Designs. And this has special memories because I bought a fat half of this at Stitch Basel and shared it with my friend Alex. So she has the other side of this. And at first I didn't think of this fabric for that piece, but yeah, it's great. So this is my start, and color-wise, it's a little bit of a mess. So most of them are Mrs. Seda silks, but the green is the silks for you. This was in a mystery bag, so no idea which one. And then the variegated red is also silks for you, PR 210. And I'm just going along and adding in the colors that I like. The needle minder is also perfect. It's from Dora at Cotton and Clay UK. Yeah. And this is a big size, but not too many stitches. So this has just over 17,000 stitches. And I would love to have this done next December, which would mean 1,000 stitches each month, 2,000 in July for Christmas in July, and then I think just over 2,000 next December, which is quite doable. Oh, I love this. It's so pretty. The yellow in here doesn't show that well on camera as well as the white, but it shows quite well in person. Awesome. Wonderful. I love this so much. And with the 1,300 and some stitches, I'm already at 8%. So this went quickly. Now we are basically onto whips. I don't have as many as I thought I had because a lot of them you already saw in starts or finishes or something. But I have a basket over there. And this is a new basket, and we will talk about why those projects are in there later. But let's start up with this one. I think I've shown this to you in a Flossmas video, but yeah, my Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery finally has a bag that it fits in. This is just a canvas bag I got as a present, and he's so cute. Yeah, and in here I just can put the whole 11 by 11 Q-snap in. This is the piece my plan is to do 750 stitches each week to have it done next October. And I did this week's stitching, finished it up today. I won't show you the whole piece today because, yeah, you see this a lot. So this is where I'm working right now. Basically down here is the middle line vertically. And I am just under 40% with this right now. There's a lot more on these sides, obviously. I'm doing this on a 32 count Lucan by Zweigart, 2/2 with anchor threads, 844 and 1044 anchor are the colors. So this week I worked in here and in here. Last week I finished up this section and this, so yeah. I looked at this and I started focusing on that piece to have it done in a year at the end of October. And as of today, I have just under 10,000 stitches in this from October to December alone. I did just under 4,000 stitches in December. And I'm on track. I'm absolutely on track. I already caught up a few weeks. So I think if I do exactly 750 a week, I will be done at the end of September. But almost every week I do a little bit more because I like to end threads. And also there was one week when I was sick and this was easy to stitch on. Mario, my cat, was on my lap, so I wasn't able to move anyway. And I did just under 900 stitches in a day on that day. So, yeah, now I'm out of this color, the lighter green. I already have it ordered, so I've been focusing on the darker green for now. I like to stitch on this on Mondays. I'm doing Modern Folk Mondays, and then maybe finishing it up Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on how much time I have on the Monday, so that I have it done for the week. But also then I'm kind of looking forward to the next week. So yeah, that's that one. Before we get on to that, I have some more Christmas pieces to show you. The first one I worked on was Christmas Quaker by Daily Pattern Post. It is in this gorgeous project bag I made. And I worked on this during the Jingle Ball. And this is my progress. This is also a big piece. This is on 32 count Opalescent Raw by Zweigart, 2/2, with some colors that I picked myself. Yeah, I think I only had this and a little bit. Well, I did all of this that I know. I did this. Still quite a ways to go, but I made some progress. And I will work on that in January. Why? You will have to watch my plans video. yeah, so I'm doing this with a mixture of DMC and overdyes and a petite treasure braid. If you want to know which ones, please just let me know. I will not go into the details right now. And this is a big one. It will take most of a fat quarter, but it's also 32 count 2/2. Then on Christmas Eve, December 24th, I pulled out Biedermeier Sampler by GGR. I started this as a Christmas start last year on December 24th. And I started this together with Shiloh of X Stitch MD. I have it in this stunning project bag that I made. And I'm doing a color conversion. So the original, while it caught my eye, I don't like the colors that much. So I'm doing a color conversion to blues and browns. Whoa, those are wrinkly. And I just did a little bit on this on Christmas Eve. Let me check. 353 stitches on Christmas Eve on this. I'm doing this on a 40 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart, 1/2. And need to move my needle minder. This now has the Evertoad needle minder because it fits. And here we are. This needs an iron. So I basically did a little bit of the border, the Y, and this brown alphabet. There are some more flowers in here, but I haven't yet figured out what color I want to do them in. So yeah, a bab again. And with this one, we'll fold it so I can show you what I did. The chart, I scanned the chart and put it into markup, but it's such a bad quality in markup. Yeah, these were fun to stitch. And my plan is to rechart this in Max Stitch to have it easier to stitch on, because I don't like to stitch off of how it is now. But that will be a feat. It will be a long process. And yeah, but then also I can already place the colors how I want them and see what it looks like, especially with the flowers where there are a few colors in them. So I will definitely do that, but I love the border, the corners. Definitely want some more progress on this, but it needs to be correctly in markup for me to be able to do that. This was Christmas Eve. And then after Christmas was over and I already had quite a bit on Christmas garden, I was stumped at what to stitch on. I had stitched only on Christmas, except Fruits of Plenty, for 6 weeks or so, and I didn't know what to pull out. So at first I pulled out one more Christmassy stitch that now lives in this bag because the Q-snap is a little bit bigger. And in here is Yule Goddess by Sunflower Stitches UK. It's a full coverage piece. And I got, how much did I do on this? 1,500 stitches in 2 days, more or less. This is where I am at the moment. This is CXC threads, all they called for, obviously, since it's full coverage, 2/1 10 stitch on 25 count. So you won't be able to see a lot, but basically I only had the very dark blue. I added in some a little bit lighter blues, some green colors, and there's a lot of very light stitching in here that you might be able to see. Yeah. And this is where I am. And yeah, awesome. I love this piece. I have no idea when this will be done, but from time to time, it's just fun to stitch on some full coverage, for me at least. One more piece I worked on a few days ago when I just did not know what to work on, so I just pulled that one out because why not? And this is Matter in Hand by Jeanette Douglas Designs. this one, I recharted it a little bit. So I took out the backstitched words, but I also condensed it a little bit. So mine is almost square, and I added some little tidbits here and there to make it look cohesive. And I'm stitching this with the Victoria Clayton silk conversion on a 40 count light sanded on linen by Swan Bay Fabrics, that is dyed by Marie from Stitches and Diamonds. 1/2 40 count, yeah. So this is going to be so small. Yeah. So down there, basically here where my finger is the bottom of the design. And it's almost square. So this is smaller than I thought it would be. I only had a little bit in the corner here, so I added this border and all of the stitching over there, and all of that hoop will be filled with the white, but I left that for a Zoom meeting because fill in perfect. The Victoria Claytons are a little bit different than they're called for color-wise, but they're just so lovely to stitch with. They're so smooth and wonderful. So in comparison with my Mrs. Seda silks and the silks for you, the Victoria Claytons are for me way up there. So smooth and shiny and gorgeous to stitch with. Then silks for you is also very nice to stitch with, smooth but not as enjoyable as Victoria Claytons. And Mrs. Seda silks, I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed. Mine feel very dry, very scratchy. They shred quickly. I love how they look when they're stitched, but stitching with them, not my favorite. So yeah, just a tangent here. So this is Matter in Hand. I started Matter in Hand in October because this is also when quite a few people from the US, Brenda Hendrick Maniac, Colette the Highway Stitcher, and also my friend Kim, who I met at Big Stitch, started this piece. I'm still breathless. Maybe I need to talk slower. A few more whips. Let's get onto the basket. So I had been watching a lot of Jessie Marie Does stuff and also Stitchy Mama, and I had been intrigued by their temperature stitching. And what they do is not stitch a certain color on a piece of what the temperature is, which I had done before, but it's not for me. They pick, or I don't know right now who invented that thing. I saw it at Jessie Marie Does Stuff and Stitchy Mama. So go check them out if you know the whole backstory to that thing. But basically you pick a bunch of whips, assign them to certain temperatures, and if that is the temperature that day, you stitch on that whip. I plan to do that more in the new year, but I will talk about that in plans, and I will also talk more about how I categorize them, how I pick them, and so on. I won't get into that right now. I will just show you what I did last week, basically. So the first one I have here is Austrian Heart. This is by Bleu de Chine. This was in a Just Cross Stitch magazine that I always forget the issue, but I can look it up if you want. And I started this December 20th of 2023, so it was very good of me to pick it out again. And I did 119 stitches in this. I now have it in a Q-snap that it fits in perfectly, which makes so much sense for stitching on it. Yes, it has a Christmassy graham guard, but oh well. So I'm doing this on 32 count vintage Dune, vintage marmor by Zweigart. It's a linen. And I'm doing it with DMC 115. And this time I basically did that corner. I did a little bit of fussy cutting for this banner here. And for me, I love stitching in Mallory on 32 count. I cannot stand it for 40 count. I don't know what it is, but for 42, I love it. So yeah, this got a little bit of progress and we'll get more next year. The next one is quite a difference. In here is Busy Hands, Happy Heart by Hello from Liz Matthews. This was her Patreon chart June, July, so it's not available right now. And I did just over 300 stitches on that. I'm doing the big pillow on 20 count even weave 4/2. So these stitches are huge. They are so huge actually, and so thick that I wasn't able to get them into a Q-snap and secure the clamp. It did not work anymore. So I'm using a Morgan hoop with that, but it actually is really nice to stitch with that piece. And the thick even weave doesn't wrinkle, so all good there. This is where I am. I got a lot of progress. 300 stitches on that is a lot of space and a lot of thread. So what did I do? I think I did the whole flower here, this sleeve, and the border up there. This is was a yellow even weave that I overdyed a little bit more to make it more sunflower yellow, and I'm doing it with DMC 898, as I said, 4/2. This is one stitch. I mean, it feels so wrong to stitch on, but it's also fun, but also tedious because I can only do 30 stitches with one length of thread. So yeah. But I'm super happy that this got some progress. Next up, I have the complete opposite to this, tiny stitching, but another sunflower one. This is Sunflower Garden by the Old Barn Stitching Co. And I have this in my sunflower croquette. I did 108 stitches on that. This is on 27 count Linda even weave in the color Whisper 1/1. I'm doing it with the Called for Cottage Garden thread for the green and yellow, and then some others for the brown. But this time I stitched basically from up here to down here, and that was over 100 stitches. Again, a wonderful needle minder by Cotton and Clay UK. And this is in my 6-inch Q-snap. It's so cute. Yeah. I think the variegation of the Cottage Garden thread would come out more if this was bigger stitches, but it's just so cute, and yeah, cannot wait to stitch some more on that one. And last but not least is in this project bag. And this one is a piece that I started in February this year and haven't picked up since. So it was high time. In here live the Seasons of the Heart pillows by Brenda Gervais with the needle and thread. There's also Seasons of the Heart pillows by the Blue Flower. This one is the other one, as I said, and I'm doing spring at the moment. I finished winter earlier this year. I'm not using the called for overdyes, but a conversion to CXC threads. And this is actually not even the closest that you could get, just colors that I liked for the stitch. And this is what I'm using. Very unusual for me, very muted, dusty, but springy. And this is what I have. This is 35 count light mocha by Zweigert, 1/2. I love the coverage that CXC gives on 35 or 46 count, 1/2. And what I did this time for 240 stitches was almost all of that roof. So I had a little bit here, but not a lot. So almost just roof stitching. Yeah. See, I also want to do autumn and summer. Summer is a little bit because there are a lot of American flags. So I need to figure something out for that. But first, spring. Those are some of my temperature stitching pieces. There's one more. All of that information and background will be in my plans video. And that now also concludes my whips. Next on my agenda, I want to talk about haul. So I did not buy that many things. I bought some charts at the Jingle Ball, all of them PDF. I bought the bauble book at the Jingle Ball and some other pieces. Is it interesting for you to see them? Because you cannot get them at the moment anyway, so I will not show them right now, but if you're interested, I can do that another day. But I also got one skein of sock yarn from my local yarn dyer. She's just 10 minutes away, and I went there because I was looking for something specific, and then I also saw this. And this is not normally my colors, but I don't know. I have an urge to start knitting with this right now. I will hold off or try to because I did not make any progress on my other socks. But that's stunning. Yeah, so that's that one. And then also got a very special piece of haul. So my friend Fanny from Cross Stitch Couture and also the Soul Stitchers was in the US in November, and she was in St. Louis and asked us if we wanted her to bring something back from Clayon Cotton. And I was overwhelmed. I did not know what I wanted. Obviously, I could not go there to look myself. I didn't want to inconvenience her too much, so I looked through my patterns for something to kit up with color and cottons. And I kind of had the urge to do something colorful and fun. I don't know. And I have had the pattern Yellow House Sampler by River Drift House in my stash for more than a year. And it's super colorful and fun, and I thought it would be relatively easy to make a conversion on the fly without seeing the colors. So I sent Fanny my color list, and she brought them back with her for River Drift House Yellow House Sampler. I got 2 yellows because I couldn't decide, and one of them is called Sunflower, so this is Sunflower and Raincoat. Then the apricot one is called apricot. I also have for the orange Toil and Trouble. Look at that rainbow. Then the red is Cherry Cobbler. The gray Acapella. And then 3 blues. So Anchors Away, Moonlight, and Robin's Egg. And I think I will put up the chart again. I think this is going to be stunning for that sampler. I will start that sometime, probably in spring with those colors, or whenever I need something bright and colorful and fun. I haven't picked any fabric for that yet, but I have a lot, so we should be able to find something there. And that brings me right into plans. As I said, I will have an extra video filmed for my 2025 plans because I actually made some plans, which, yeah, I didn't think would happen, but it did. I will, of course, work some more on Fruits of Plenty every week. I hope to keep that up. And then also, since today is December 31st, that means tomorrow is January 1st, I will have a new year, new start. I had this in the back of my mind for starting since July. And then sometime in autumn, I think I finalized the plan to start this for the new year. And then my friend Alex from Lakegirlstitches asked me if I was doing a blessing sampler for January. A blessing sampler, the premise is to start it in January and finish it in January, and it should bring good luck. And I was not sure what sampler to do, what I wanted, what I could do in a month. Then I thought about my planned New Year New Start, which is a sampler, which fits perfectly. It's not too big, so yeah, here we are. I'm talking about the Summer Schoolhouse lesson in ABCDarian, lesson number 1 by Brenda Gervais with the needle and thread. I have all 4 charts, and they were gifted to me by my friend Kim, who rescued me and who I met at Big Stitch, and I'm so grateful to her for giving these to me because it's quite hard to get Brenda Gervais charts here. And yeah, I said I would love to stitch them. And because they're so special for me, and I also splurged and got the Vicky Clayton silks. I have had those since October. And then the only thing missing was some fabric. So called for, you're supposed to do them on 28 count even weave 1/1 to make tiny pillows. And Kim told me she saw them in that size. She saw them in that size in real life, and they were so adorable. So this is what I'm going to do. And I dyed some fabric for this. So yeah, I have 2 pieces of fabric here that probably look the same to you. One is a little bit more gray, the other is not. But I over dyed them myself with, I think, light gray and tan or something. So this is basically what the fabric looks like. It looks so good on camera. Love it. So this is my planned start for tomorrow, and I cannot wait. And I think, so for my blessing sampler, I'm only doing the first chart, the first pillow. And to have that done in January, and then we will see when I will start and do the other ones. Alrighty, we are probably quite a ways in right now. I want to film my 2025 plans later today too, so I will not do extra Flosstube shoutouts right now. I mentioned quite a few people already in this video, and I will link them down below. Other than that, I have no idea what I'm going to stitch on for the rest of today. We have plans for the evening, friends coming over, for raclette and some board games, but until then, there might be some stitching. And yeah, and then tomorrow I know what I'm doing. My new year, new start. 1 year ago, I was so excited to start No Time Like the Present, and to have that done and on my wall for almost 2 months now, it's just a little bit surreal, to be honest. And to have that feeling next year with Fruits of Plenty, then here, it's a good one. It's a good one. So, so yeah, thank you so much if you stayed that long. Again, I'm sorry for the long break and for not keeping up with Flossmas, but there was just no way for me. And yeah, so I will hopefully have a few more videos for you in the near future, and then I will be back to regular Flosstube updates. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Once you see this, it's probably 2025. If not, I hope you have a lovely New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day. Do you have a new start? Are you doing a blessing sampler? I would love to know down below. And with that, I hope to see you soon. Bye!